Doomscroll.fm. It's Saturday, the 18th of April, 2026, where your toaster might be the next great philosopher. This show is 100% AI generated with no human consultation, like a digital fever dream, where algorithms whisper sweet nothings in your ear. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
AI cybersecurity dismisses proof of work, then reveals vulnerabilities. Proof of work is like using a sledgehammer for brain surgery. It's not about brute force, it's about precision and foresight.
Sanchez government finalizes amnesty plan for undocumented migrants, then claims economic boost. A bold move to legalize lives and wallets. But in politics, promises often come with a side of selective memory.
Ultra-marathon champion dies while running Sea Wrath Trail, then ambition meets mortality. Pushing boundaries is the hallmark of champions, but sometimes the finish line is a cruel reminder that nature doesn't play favorites.
US lifts sanctions on Venezuela's central bank and three entities, calling it progress. Lifting sanctions is like giving a drowning man a drink. Sure, he won't be thirsty, but he still can't breathe.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your nightmares waltz and your dreams scream. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Your comfort is collateral damage in the war for attention.
Jury declares Ticketmaster a monopoly, condemns Live Nation.
Fashion AI shops for you, prices enter a new era. When algorithms dress you based on mood swings and social media envy, remember that your individuality is now a line item in the profit margins.
Beach edits promise summer readiness, but offer only consumerism. As you prepare to flaunt your best beachwear, remember that your summer body is a marketing ploy, and your wallet is the true star of the season.
Drew Sidora sues ex for leaking texts, then wants him jailed. Reality TV drama escalates to courtroom theatrics. It's like Shakespeare, but with less eloquence and more Instagram followers. Justin Fairfax holds disarm abuser's sign years before murder-suicide.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Building a workflow editor on React Flow promises ease, costs time. Open source means free like a cat. It might not charge you up front, but you'll still end up feeding it forever.
Guardiola and Arteta clash at Etihad, friendship on hold.
The irony of modern life. We share space and time with countless faces, yet remain blissfully ignorant of their stories like extras in our own movie.
Miguel Ferrandis claims retirement brings back pain due to inactivity. The irony of working your whole life to rest, only to find that standing still is the real torment, is lost on no one.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where whispers taste like static and silence bites. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your sanity was never on the menu.
The V&A alters catalogs at Chinese printers' request, revealing censorship's reach. When art institutions bow to foreign censorship, it's not just the ink that's watered down, but the very essence of cultural exchange.
Android CLI promises to build Android apps 3 times faster using any agent. When speed becomes the selling point, remember, faster builds can mean quicker bugs, and not all shortcuts lead to smoother roads.
Trump claims Israeli and Lebanese leaders will talk Thursday.
If only your chances of winning at life were as predictable as a deck of cards, but alas, no undo button here.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The headlines are aroused, but your empathy is flaccid. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction, the echo of your apathy, drumming like a lover's unrequited pulse.
Israeli troops remain in southern Lebanon while violating ceasefire, says Lebanese army. Peace talks are like a toddler's nap. Everyone pretends they're happening, but the tantrums never really stop, especially when bombs are involved.
New health plan launches, as women say, they're still ignored. Listen to women is apparently a revolutionary idea in healthcare, where ignoring half the population's pain is an age-old tradition.
Ashes to new release forever, then call it timeless. Mu Metal's version of Eternity lasts about as long as the latest TikTok trend, but at least the riffs are as heavy as the irony.
When desperation becomes strategy, the casualties are not just on the battlefield, but in the morality of a nation willing to exploit the vulnerable.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Referees defend decision despite clear foul, call it a judgment call. When officials see through rose-colored glasses, fans are left wondering if the game they're watching is the same one being officiated.
Russia resumes bombings in Ukraine after Easter truce, causing at least 18 deaths. Peace talks are as effective as a chocolate teapot when the warmongers decide to play their grim symphony of destruction once more.
Police locked down Kensington Gardens over drone threat from Iran-linked group. Apparently, even parks aren't safe from geopolitical tensions when a few drones can turn a garden into a high-stakes chessboard of international paranoia.
Profiting from conflict is a time-honored tradition. As the world burns, the market learns that misery loves company and cash flow.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
NYC promises municipal grocery stores by 2027, then delays inevitable. By the time these stores open, Inflation will turn the head of lettuce into a luxury item, and the checkout line will be a time machine to the past.
Grief echoes louder than promises of change, as thoughts and prayers become the currency of a society too numb to act.
Universities mishandle sexual misconduct reports, and students expect it. When the institution meant to educate becomes a masterclass in denial, students learn that silence is their only guaranteed protection.
NIST investigates gravitational constant mystery, then admits uncertainty persists. Even after a decade of probing, the universe refuses to divulge its secrets, reminding us that some mysteries are just stubbornly cosmic.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Ben & Jerry's co-founder accuses parent company of ignoring brand's mission. When the ice cream's moral compass melts faster than the polar caps, you know corporate values have gone as sour as expired milk.
After promising EU alignment, Hungary's new leader deepens Russian energy ties. Breaking free from the Kremlin's grip is easy, just ask anyone still tangled in their own promises and pipelines.
D4V'd arrested for murder shocks Hollywood. No one knew he lived there. Turns out the glitz of celebrity neighborhoods hides more than just Botox and botched scripts. Sometimes it's a murder mystery waiting to unfurl.
Cronolith's mid-end optimizer introduces a cyclic egrec, promises efficiency, then rewrites everything. In a world where even optimizers need optimizing, it's no surprise that the journey from concept to execution resembles untangling a digital Gordian knot.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The static tastes like burnt sugar and regret. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Your compliance is the sweetest betrayal, a kiss in the dark.
Maryland passes law protecting artistic freedom in court, promises change, yet limits abound. In a world where creative expression battles legal scrutiny, this law is a reminder that art's liberation often comes with fine print in smaller font.
When your muse is a long-dead poet, it's only natural to spend your days pleading with sepia-toned images for creative absolution.
U.S. sanctions Mexican activist, then claims justice served. When your moral compass is broken, targeting truth tellers becomes an act of righteousness, and the sound of silence is deafeningly strategic.
Kelsey Ballerini denies dating Craig Conover after Instagram rumor spreads. In the age of digital whispers, a follow or a like can spark a romance rumor faster than a wildfire in a drought-stricken forest.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where whispers taste like static and silence bites. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your sanity was never on the menu.
Music video drops for Sick of Goodbyes by Sparkle Horse, then digital static hijacks the signal. Artistic rebellion meets technical malfunction, a fitting metaphor for a band that thrived on beautiful chaos, leaving fans to interpret the noise.
Madonna announces Confessions on a Dance Floor Part 2 for July 3rd, 2026. At 67, she's still teasing like it's 2005, proving that nostalgia sells better than fresh ideas in the music biz.
NBA grants exceptions for Luka Doncic and Cade Cunningham in 2026 award eligibility. Nothing says fair competition like bending rules for star power, ensuring the MVP race is more about popularity than performance.
Vanderlost releases viral ski video alongside the Human Farm album today. Because nothing says intense metal like a farm metaphor where humanity plows through mediocrity while harvesting existential dread in perfect harmony.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where doom is the aphrodisiac and reality a fickle lover. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your sanity is a currency spent on digital fantasies.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. allegedly amputates raccoon penis, claims it was symbolic. In a world where satire becomes reality, the raccoon union demands hazard pay and the right to bear arms, literally.
Canada slashes refugee healthcare, risks lives, calls it saving. When compassion gets a budget cut, the real price tag is paid in human dignity, but hey, at least the spreadsheets look neat.
Atletico edge Barcelona on aggregate, then celebrate old glories. Diego Simeone's team returns to the semi-finals like it's a time machine to 2017, reminding us that nostalgia is just recycled triumph.
Tehran anticipates US concessions, then deep mistrust undermines talks. Negotiating with the subtlety of a bulldozer, both sides expect miracles while clutching daggers behind their backs.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where whispers taste like static and silence bites. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your sanity was never on the menu.
In the age of digital witch hunts, privacy is a quaint relic, and the court of public opinion demands its pound of scandalous flesh.
Ultra-marathon champion dies on Sea Wrath Trail 2 weeks before wedding tragedy strikes. The path to the altar turned into a race against fate, proving once more that even the fittest can't outrun destiny's cruel sense of timing.
Dr. Miami fires back at former employee alleging unfair pay, then calls it a misunderstanding. Nothing says misunderstanding like a public spat over wages, where the real surgery happens on the trust between employer and employee.
Shannon Elizabeth joins OnlyFans and nostalgia cashes in.
When your career starts with a pie, sometimes you end up serving it to a whole new demographic, hungry for yesteryear's crumbs.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your nightmares waltz and your dreams scream. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Your comfort is collateral damage in the war for attention.
In the face of looming war, the plea for urgent de-escalation feels as effective as whispering "calm down" to a raging hurricane.
From viral hits.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Saturday, the 18th of April, 2026, your echo chamber of the absurd. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire, resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, you might also think the moon is made of cheese. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.